Okay. Good morning, all. This is an open elective subject, that is irrespective of your stream. You can able to go through this one and you can study this one, because even nowadays the commerce students can able to develop the website. Means then since you people will be having an engineering background, you can able to go ahead with this one. So what are the tips for this one? Why you need to go for this particular subject? Means main thing is that. Nowadays, commerce student, irrespective of the science background, they are developing the website. So, my request is that you should not have any gaps. You should have regular practice, and little bit logic and coding is required. That's it. You can able to develop your own website, and you can able to host on that one. So, when you are taking this as an open elective, when you think of about the employment, this one, you'll be having a vast opportunities in this one. Like you can become a freelancer, you can become full stack developer, and in India, an average just front end developer is getting like some around 7 lakhs, and back end will be getting like some 9 lakhs per annum. So mechanical student, civil student, and even other branch student can able to opt this course, and at the end they can able to, they'll be in a position to develop their own website. So in this one, web programming, you'll be having some three terms. So when you go through this particular subject, or when you attend keep attending the classes, then you'll be getting you can able to explore the concepts. Main thing is that when you speak about web programming, the thing what comes to our mind is how to develop a website. What are all the things that are required? Three things are mainly required. That is one as an what are these are the objectives of your coursework. There is one is front end, back end, and the other one is database. Little bit knowledge of the database is required. All together, front end, back end, and database all will be interacting together. So mainly, when you want to become any full stack developer, means you should have an idea of front end, back end, along with that one database concept. So what are the main objectives of this particular course is you will be going through HTML and the XHTML, the advanced version of HTML, how you can able to design the web pages. In order to interact the web pages on the client side, you need to learn one coding part that is called as a JavaScript. And further, along with JavaScript, earlier websites they'll be using PHP. So that also you're going to study in this particular course. Main thing is that front end, what you're going to study here is what are the prerequisites in order to learn this particular courses. Some little bit programming is required, database knowledge, and web programming. Web programming anyhow you're going to study here only. So what are the things, what is front end, back end, and why, what are all the databases you're going to study here is the very first unit is fundamentals you're going to study. In that one, what is web server, what is web browser, how MIME works, what are the how HTTP internet protocols works, all those things, some prerequisites of this particular course you're going to study in the first unit. Second unit, when it comes to, that is called as an front end, where you're going to study about HTML, HTML and CSS. HTML stands for hypertext markup language, and CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So, when you consider an example of human being, or anyhow the construction of the house, the structure, the layout, blueprint is considered as an HTML. So, the structure we are going to provide with the help of HTML, HTML tags, forms, all those things you are going to study. And after constructing the house, like once the structure is being framed, once the skeleton is formed, for that we need to have some this one, right, a color, border, all those things that is achieved with the help of CSS. HTML, CSS, and both will be acting like front end only. That is HTML stands for hypertext markup language, and CSS stands for cascading style sheets. Using those things, you're going to provide a structure and as well as colors, all those things. But when you that is after the construction of your house, when you click any one of the button, like if I want to switch on the TV or oven or any other things, then that interaction, that is done with the help of JavaScript. So JavaScript is considered as at the back end. When you want to become front-end developer, where that is in India, average salary will be like 6 lakhs, around 6 lakhs. So if you learn HTML, CSS, the design of that one, that is sufficient enough. For the back end, coding is required, and even the pay is also more, some around 8 to 9 lakhs you can able to fetch with that one. Back end, what and all you are going to study here is JavaScript, that is Node.js, along with that one JavaScript, that is considered as a programming language only. For that, together what is required, what you need to add further means MongoDB, SQLite, SQL, MySQL, all those things database are very much required because it has to interact, right? For that reason, database is required. Our user details will be stored in the database. So Node.js, that is JavaScript, plus MongoDB or any other database you can able to learn. And further, what and all can be added as a backend means along with Node.js, Django. If you are learning Django, there is nothing but Python. Even for that also SQLite or MongoDB is allowed. The scripting languages is where you can able to interact on the client side, that is called as an backend programming languages. Front end only HTML and CSS and XHTML, that and all you're going to study. And after developing your website, you need to host on the this one. How to host that one is, again you can able to avail Amazon Web Service, Digital Ocean or Azure. All those things are meant for hosting your website. So thing is that if you want to you need to decide either you want to become a front end developer or back end developer, or together if you want to become both means front end along with back end with some database knowledge is considered as an full stack developer. So you can able to this course is pretty good for you people to go ahead with this one. Even as I already told, the commerce students are ready to design their own website. So you people will be having sufficient knowledge since you are having a background since you are in 7th semester. So you can able to opt this one. Book prescribed for this particular course is Robert Sylvester. That is sufficient enough. Further, you cannot able to refer any other book. If you want, you can, but the product that is sufficient enough for you people. That's what the first 2 units you're going to study about front end, and last 3 units you're going to study about backend, JavaScript and PHP. JavaScript is being used nowadays. All the websites, since that is again website, when it comes to the website, one is a static one, the other one is a dynamic one. So static means it's like a visiting card. You cannot able to interact with that one, you cannot able to update that one. Dynamic means daily the changes it changes whatever you want to do to your website, that will be reflected, even the client can able to see that one. That is called as a dynamic one, that is achieved with the help of JavaScript. Earlier websites are being designed with the help of PHP, but nowadays we are going for JavaScript. Along with that one, some frameworks are being used like React JS, Angular JS, those are all frameworks. So it's up to you. If you want to become front-end developer, study only the scripting, this one, how we can able to design like HTML, CSS, that is sufficient enough. Back-end developer means JavaScript, some database knowledge like MongoDB, SQL, MySQL, SQLite, all those things you should have a knowledge. Or else if you are pretty good at any one of the programming language instead of JavaScript, you can go for Python also, that is Django, that is back-end developer. Who knows, if you are having sufficient knowledge with both front end and as well as back end means together, that is called as an, nowadays that has become a peculiar word for you, that is a full stack developer. Full stack developer means again that comes to the web programming part only, like how web works, how you can able to design the web pages, where you will be having a sufficient knowledge of both front end and as well as back end. Together it is called as an full stack developer. So what is my tips for you people to go for this course? Why you need to go for this course means you can become freelancer for this particular. Only thing is that you should have some practical knowledges and some coding part is required. Thing is that you should attend regularly, you should not have any gaps, and you should have regular practice and don't quit in between. Those are the tips required for this subject to go ahead. That is I think sufficient enough for this particular course. So but wish you all the best. If you want to opt this particular course means it's well and good, but choose this one. 7th semester open elective where mechanical, civil and other branches students can able to opt. Don't think that it is a programming one. Only thing is that regular practice is required, and along with that one some scripting languages also. If you learn this particular subject, that is sufficient enough. That will be acting like a base knowledge for you to do some projects on this particular course, web programming and web courses, and further at the end you'll be in a position to design your own website also. It's your wish, either you can able to host or not to host, whether to build or design. this one, what a static one or dynamic one. As I already said, static one means not the scripting languages are not much required. For dynamic one, you need to study JavaScript or Python. JavaScript means Node.js, Python means Django. Along with that one, some databases like SQL, MySQL, SQLite, MongoDB, all those things are required. Front end, back end, and database, all three are interacting together. So for that reason, you should study all those things. In the very first 2 units, you're going to study about only front end only, and remaining 3 units, you're going to study about scripting languages, that is JavaScript, PHP. And book prescribed for this one is Sebesta, Robert Sebesta, web programming. That is sufficient enough for you to study this particular course. So wish you all the best. You can able to opt this one. There will be no worries when you opt this one. Don't think about the logic, coding, very much required. That is not much required. Only thing is that you should have a regular practice. Learn by coding. That's it. Okay. Thank you. Alex.
Yes. Start now. Yes. Good morning, everyone. So I am Prashant Niranjan, working in computer science department as assistant professor at KLSGIT Belagavi. So I'm handling machine learning open elective. So its code is 18CS763. And these are the contents of syllabus have been included in our machine learning syllabus. That is introduction to machine learning, what is neural networks, what is probabilistic reasoning and bias belief networks, artificial life learning through emergent behavior, and then genetic algorithms. So in the first unit, we'll be discussing what is machine learning, like what is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and how this machine learning is useful in the real world. So all these concepts comes under introduction part, and then we are discussing neural networks. So the basic thing about what is neural network, how this neural network works, and we have multi-layer perceptron, single layer perceptron. All these concepts are covered in this neural networks. And then probabilistic reasoning, and then bias belief network, like how this probabilistic reasoning works, and how this can be mapped to the applications, how we can perform the classification task. So that will be discussed in the third unit. And then we have artificial learning, and then genetic algorithms. So these are the contents will be covered in the syllabus. So coming to what is machine learning. So machine learning is a branch of AI that enables computers to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. So here machine learning is what, it's a branch of AI. So whatever the data set we have, so machine learning is what we are training to the computer. So we are training to the machine so that it can't be explicitly programmed for that. So once that data has been trained, so whenever you are performing any new task, or whenever you are giving some new data, so it can be automatically classified, or it can be automatically clustered. So in that case we go for machine learning. So here engineers can use machine learning to create intelligent system that can recognize patterns in data, make predictions, and learn from new information. So here as a developer, as an engineer, you can use this ML models or ML algorithms where you are building your own model or you are developing your own model which recognizes some patterns in data. So maybe you are developing some applications to detect some fraudulent activity in the data. So that can be done by using some ML models, and even you can make some predictions. So when you want to make some weather forecasting, right? So maybe you have some previous 5 years data or previous 10 years data. So based on that previous 10 years data, you want to predict. So what will be the weather forecasting in next 15 days or next weather forecasting of next 1 month. So that can be done by machine learning, and it learns from the new information. So next, coming to three main types of ML, that is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So here in supervised learning, the computer is trained on labeled data where the desired output is known and the algorithm learns to map inputs to outputs. So in supervised learning, like we have the data set, okay, it's an supervised data set where we have the maybe the data is available, along with that the label is specified. So here the desired output is actually known to the developer or to the programmer because it is already labeled one. So that is what we call it as supervised learning. Then comes unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, the computer is trained on unlabeled data and must find patterns or structure in data without any guidance. So in unsupervised learning, what happens here, we have the data, but here the label is not known or the desired output is not known, right? So here we do not have any guidance, right? That is what we call it as unsupervised learning or unsupervised data set. Then reinforcement learning is a type of machine learning where the computer learns by trial and error, receiving feedback in the form of rewards or penalties for its actions. So here it's a type of machine learning where the computer learns by trial and error. So here it is using trial and error mechanism, and if it is performing well and good, then it is giving we are applying some rewards, otherwise we are giving some applying some penalties for its actions. Then coming to the applications of ML. So what are the applications of ML and how this is useful in the industry or in the real world? So ML is used in wide range of applications, including image and speech recognition, natural language processing, recommendation system, fraud detection, autonomous vehicles, right? So here the machine learning is what the machine learning is used in many applications. Even in the industry, the most of the people are going for machine learning, the algorithms, or they are using some machine learning techniques. So some of the applications, image and speech recognition. So okay, so image and speech recognition, even in Google, you can just talk to the Google, or you can speak some words to the Google, and it will recognize that whatever the speech has been done. So that will recognize and it will automatically translate. So and translate, and it will try to fetch that the information, whatever the input has been given by the user. So that is what it is trying to recognize the speech and trying to fetch the answer from the Google database, right? So this is what, in that case, even the ML techniques and the ML algorithms have been used. And then natural language processing is what, where the user is giving the information in the form of text or in the form of speech, right? So that is what natural language processing. Okay, maybe one example I can say, like the farmer is asking related to his farm. So how much what content of vitamin is contained in citrus fruit. So such kind of questions are asked in natural language processing. So here it is like the text that text will be processed, and it will try to fetch the data from that database, and it will produce the output to the user, right? So this is, in that case, or this is one of the task or one of the application where you can develop for the farmer or for any agriculture university, and very useful. This can be developed by using ML. And then recommendation system. Okay, even in the recommendation system, you can use some a priori algorithm or some clustering algorithm, right? So there are many techniques are available in ML. So even in recommendation system is what, like when you are purchasing shoes, along with that you purchase socks. Okay, when you purchase any laptop, along with that you purchase antivirus software, or you purchase some bags, right? So that is nothing but recommendation system. So even in Google, even in Amazon or in Flipkart, you can see when you are clicking on one of the item, okay, along with that it will show some recommended items or recommendations items, right? So this is even this is can be developed by using ML. And then fraud detection, and how we can detect this fraud. So maybe I have one pattern, okay, I'm using my credit card and my monthly expenses are maybe 1 lakh rupees or 50,000 rupees. 1 month expenses are 50,000 rupees, but automatically my transaction is going above 10 lakh or 20 lakh. So in that case, that the fraud activity or the outlier has been detected. So this is how in ML we have trained the data to the one of the limit, but if it is exiting that limit, so in that case we can detect it's a fraud, and something is miscellaneous activity or some fraud activities going on, that can be identified by using ML. And then even the ML can be used for autonomous vehicle. And then, for example, machine learning can be used to detect defects in products before they reach consumers. Because I have my own company, and I have trained that product with some previous data of 5 years or 10 years. So after that, once I manufacture that product, and then I'll just check whether it is working properly or not. So that can be trained by using this machine learning, so that we'll get the we can detect some defects in the products before they reach to our customers, or before they reach our consumers. And then engineers can use ML to build models that can analyze large data set, detect anomalies, and predict outcomes. So here, by using ML techniques or ML algorithms, you can build your own model, or you can apply some innovative approaches, or you can change you can apply some research innovation in this machine learning. You can change some parameters in the algorithms, and you can build your own models for the large data set, and you can apply to any real world application, so where it gives some good accuracy, right? So mainly this is useful for even for detecting any fraudulent activity, and even for predicting some outcomes, right? So the summary is the machine learning is powerful tool that engineers can use to create intelligent system that can learn from data and make predictions, right? So for machine learning, mainly we require the huge amount of data set. So maybe it is a 5 years data set, or maybe it is a 10 years data set. So we are collecting all that data and making some good predictions, okay, maybe related to weather forecasting prediction or stock market price prediction, right? So all that prediction can be done, classification can be done. So when suppose you want to classify whether it is a cat or a dog, okay, or you want to classify whether it is a leaf or a fruit. So all this kind of classification or the kind of predictions can be done by using this machine learning techniques and algorithms. ML algorithms and techniques, engineers can build models that can analyze complex data set and provide insights that can inform decision making. So here what happens, we are building our own applications by using all this data set, that is very useful for all the managers or for the higher authority to take decision, okay, mainly for the decision making. Like maybe I'm predicting like 90% or 95% accuracy of weather forecasting, that tomorrow it's going to rain. So so based on that I can make a decision that, so what I should do, because if it's going to rain tomorrow, then I should take like if it is raining tomorrow, then I know, like this application whatever I have developed, it is a 95% accuracy. So before that I'll just make a decision. So even for recommendation system, along with this item is purchased more, or it is frequently purchased, so in that case I can keep those items closer, right? So all this kind of applications can be developed by using this machine learning techniques and algorithms. Yes, thank you, students. Thank you everyone for listening. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, all. I'm Professor Amrita Deshpande from Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So, for the seventh semester, I'll be handling Open Elective Big Data and Hadoop. The course code is 18CS 764. Since it is open elective, it can be opted by different department students apart from CS and IS. So, Big Data and Hadoop, it is a 3 credit course wherein CI is for 50 marks, though SEE is conducted for 100 marks. As usual, it will be reduced to 50 marks. And the objective is we'll understand what do you mean by big data, what are the different dimensions, and for which data we call it as a big data, what is the characteristic of big data. And then when we say big data, there comes a concept called as Hadoop. So it is the main framework for big data. So we are going to study that Hadoop framework and what is the architecture of the Hadoop, and to understand the importance of map reduce. Reduce is very similar to your divide and conquer, or we can distribute the work to multiple people. The same work we distribute it to multiple people and combine their result. It is very similar to that. We are going to understand what is map reduce framework. And in big data, we come across something called as functionality called as pig. So we are going to understand what is that pig, its architecture and the functionality. To study this subject, basic or the prerequisite that we need is DBMS and data mining. So not the entire concept or you need not have to be thorough with these things. You just need to know the basics of DBMS and data mining. So in the DBMS, say for example, what is data? What is table? How do you store data into table? What are rows called? What are columns called? So these basic information about DBMS is required, and some basic information about data mining is required to understand this big data and Hadoop. So the syllabus has 5 different units. The first unit is understanding the big data. So here we are going to understand what is big data and characteristics of big data. What do you mean by big data? What are the different characteristics of big data? When we say characteristics of big data, there are 3 different V's that come into picture. So what are those different V's? And data in the warehouse and data in Hadoop. Data in the warehouse is a regular database. How do we store the data in the regular database? And the difference of that, how do we store the data in Hadoop database? And why do we need big data? What is the importance of big data? And we have different databases, but why do we need to go for big data? And their use cases. One for pattern for big data deployment. So the basic of big data we are going to study in first unit, and in the second unit we are going to study the file system or framework of big data, that is called as Hadoop. So we are going to study components of Hadoop distributed file system, which is usually called as HDFS, and basics of map reduce and some of the common components. HDFS is a architecture. So this architecture has multiple components. For security, some other components, for reading, some other components. So all those things, shell commands we are going to study in Hadoop. And the Hadoop architecture, it includes some of the notable Hadoop related projects we are going to understand. So apart from that, we are going to understand what are the different concepts that are there in the framework of the Hadoop. In the third unit, we are going to understand application development in Hadoop. So in application development in Hadoop, we are going to understand in brief what is Pig, what is Pig Latin. Pig Latin is a language that is used to write Pig programs or Pig queries. And Hive, JQL, Hadoop streaming, and getting data into your Hadoop. Getting data into your Hadoop is nothing but whatever data we have, we need to store it into our database, that is Hadoop database. So how do we get the data into Hadoop? How do we copy the data? And the Flume concept and some of the Hadoop components called as Zookeeper, HBase, OC, and Avro. All these things we are going to study in unit number 3. Coming to the unit number 4, that is map reduce. The map reduce, as I said, it is dividing the work among multiple people and combining their result. The same thing we are going to do. We are understanding the framework, how that dividing and combining works, and what are the different features of that map reduce. and how to work with the MapReduce. And when I say MapReduce, there are two different functions. One is mapping function and one is reducing function. How do we map the work to some other people? And how do we get the data or result from those people? That is mapping function and reducing function. And why do we need to use MapReduce? All those things we are going to study in unit number 4. And coming to the last unit, that is pig. So here we are mainly focusing on the one concept of MapReduce, that is pig. So in the third unit we have just studied the basic of pig or some of the components, whereas in the last unit we are going to understand the pig concept in detail. So we are going to we are going to give the introduction to pig and what is the architecture of the pig, and benefits, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using the pig, what are the properties of pig, and like MapReduce, pig is also a functionality. So how this pig is different from MapReduce, that is pig versus MapReduce. Pig Latin is a scripting concept. So how do we write the programs to load the data, dump the data, and grouping and joining? How do we perform all these operations using Pig Latin? And we have something called as grunt, which is the important concept in pig. And what are the different data types that we use in pig? So data models of pig, that can be int, long, float, double, character array, byte array, all these things. These are the basic data types, and apart from these basic data types, we have some other data types which are also called as complex data types, that is map, tuple, bag, null, and casts. So the entire syllabus, it will cover the basics of the big data and Hadoop, the importance of big data, the Hadoop framework, what are the different components of Hadoop framework, and main understanding of MapReduce and pig. So this concludes all 5 units. So what do you mean by a big data? So big data is whenever we want to store some data, we need to make sure that the data is very large enough, and it can be structured or unstructured. So structured data is mainly your text files, whereas unstructured data is which is not there in the form of table, that is rows and columns. So it can be a video file, it can be a JSON file, it can be audio file. So how do we store that particular data into our database is nothing but the big data. So who all use the big data? So this big data is being used by very big businesses all over the world because they have to store their data. And Amazon, so whatever login information you give and whatever products you purchase, so all the data will be stored in big data form. And some of the American Express companies also use, and even the Netflix also use big data to gain insights into viewing habits. That is, if you are viewing some type of movies or some type of web series, so whenever you log in into Netflix, you will get the recommendation. So it is when you shop something online, and whenever you are scrolling say Facebook or some your Google, you will get the pop-up, you will get the recommendation. So that recommendation system is done using big data. Next, what are the benefits of big data? So the most important benefit is cost optimization. So here you can store large number of data with a very less cost, and it increases the efficiency as well. Then why do we need to choose this big data and analytics as a career? Because it is very growing technology. So if you know big data, if you know how to analyze it, you can excel in this. So big data and analytics benefits prove how powerful a tool it has emerged to be for business, irrespective of size and industry. Irrespective of the size of data, you can use this big data, and it is very important for both organization as well as professional skill, and it is highly in demand now. Whoever you ask, he is a data analyst, data scientist, big data technician. So big data plays a very important role in your career. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, students. Here, there are two electives floated from civil engineering department. One is this is regarding open elective 3. One is energy environment with the code 18CV761, and another is research methodology 18CV763. So myself, Nitin Deshpande, working as assistant professor in Department of Civil Engineering, is going to handle this particular subject, energy and environment, with the code 18CV761. So basically, if we go with the syllabus, the issues, there are big concern. How longer we will have petroleum existing? There are geopolitical concerns, economical effects, and environmental impacts. So what we are going to do for this? So the concerns that we take into consideration is useful energy is being more scarce, population is increasing exponentially, industrial demand has become more and more for getting the energy done, environmental problems become more severe with increase in energy consumption, limited resource can impact social, cultural and economic aspects of our life, and global impacts will be more serious. If we this is a main concern to have this particular subject come in. Okay, example for resource, why petroleum only? Oil delivers more than 15 time energy, that energy of an equal mass of dynamite, 700 times that of bullet, and 100 times that of laptop batteries. 1 gallon of oil does much work as 20 workers work 10 hours a day for entire year. So the main ingredient for this is the consumer product, which include pharmaceutical industries, cosmetics, clothing, pesticides, lubricants and solvents. It has become cheap. Now let us see the balance sheet which is existing for 2005 and 2015. So who has it? Like all the countries like Dubai, Iran, Kuwait, then Russia, Mexico and USA are having it, but the percentage lies with Dubai with the 26%. And who uses it? Usually USA, Japan, China, Russia, these are the numbers, right? They are using in large quantity. We line up in India, line up in all other, that is 17%. We don't have account of this petroleum products. There is no renewable form that we have, and all other also 42% where we line up, right? If you see the balance sheet of 2015, again you can see there is India which has come in picture, right? 3% we are using it, and if I see today 2025, we account for nearly 10% of it. So that is why the subject is introduced, energy and environment. So comparison study, if we take energy, optimization of energy mix, new technologies, energy policies and incentive systems, and carbon issues that are going to happen. If you take finance as a section, innovative finance mechanism and policies, some energy supply requirement and a low carbon economy. If I take environment, impact on increasing green energy emissions, elaborations and industrial response. If I take developmental side, specific energy requirement for developing countries like India, implementation of sustainable development is policies is required, poverty and access to affordable energies. So what is the objectives of studying this? To understand energy and its form, record from renewable and non-renewable, describe various renewable and non-renewable sources, and also to talk about the global environmental issues. So prerequisite here we require is environmental studies. So basically the syllabus first unit talks about the introduction to energy source like global energy, the energy resources necessity, energy crisis, what is the current scenario and how the energy resources available. The second talks about renewable source of energy, that is biomass and biogas. So in biomass you are going to see the energy plantation, conversion of energies in wet and dry form, and the agricultural waste can be used for deriving the energy, and how the biogas is generated, factors affecting it and advantages. Okay, and you are going to see the classification of biogas. So you can see the figure that has been taken as a biogas, or maybe the electrical appliances and the biomass in different form. This is unit number 1, which is generally done for 8 hours. Then we have hydropower and tidal energy. So if there are hydrological cycle to occur, then we can talk about hydropower, which works as a multi purpose, serving multi-purpose in most of the global scenarios. So site selection for hydroelectric power plant, classification, the catchment area details, advantages and disadvantages, like that. Tidal energy, this type of energy is rare rarely followed in our country, but in other western countries or the eastern countries we see that this has been followed. What is this ocean thermal electric conversion, and how we are going to select the site for it, what are the basic principles that are required, and the components. Unit number 3 talks about solar and wind energy. Now basically solar means we require sun. So in India we can think about this, right? The presence of sun is more. So solar constant, solar radiation, conversion of it, and we are going to talk about focusing and non-focusing cell. In wind, in the classification of wind energy, we are going to consider the basic principle of wind energy, site selection, and the conversion of it, and the and how the environmental effects are there for wind energy. Usually the eastern countries and the Asian countries are following this wind energy and the solar energy. Nuclear and geothermal energy, this is a little bit difficult, especially geothermal energy. We see it in eastern countries, the research are going on this. So what are the necessities, the components, the different reactors, how to locate this nuclear energy, where it should be, because the waste generated by this nuclear energy is more, so the impacts will be more, and the disaster that has happened like the Love Canal for an example can be taken into picture. In geothermal energy we will see the sources, the binary fluid geothermal power system and the hybrid power system that is taken into account. And lastly, coming to unit 5, how the pollution is caused, which are the different type of pollutions like water, soil and land pollutions, how to prevent it, and we are going to see the three case studies related to water. We are going to study Ganga river pollution and London smog for air pollution and Bhopal for air pollution. Okay, and what are acid rain, ozone and the Holocaust, the waste reclamation are considered as the social issues and the environmental issues that will come into picture. Okay, so you can see global environmental issues that are lined up like global warming, ozone, acid rain, right, deforestation, water pollution, and desertification and waste. And if you take the pollution, we have water, air and soil pollution. Basically this talks about energy and environment. So energy is given more priority for our benefits, and environment talks about basic necessity. So if you are opting for this elective, it is general for all except civil engineering. So you can learn about energy, you can learn about environment, and basically we are concentrating on the renewable source of energy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good morning, students. So the second open elective that has been floated from Civil Engineering Department is Research Methodology, and its code is 18CV 763. So I am KP Tejasvi from Civil Engineering Department. On behalf of Vikash, I am going to tell you all some brief introduction about research methodology. So basically, research methodology is nothing but is the way of explaining how research intends to carry out their research. So from day-to-day activities, the research is must and should, because once the research stops, you all know that the country cannot progress. So that's why research plays a very important role in day-to-day activities. So in general, to define research, it is a systematic gathering of data and information and its analysis for advancement of knowledge in any subject. So research is not pertaining to only engineering background or some arts background or some commerce background. It is applicable for each and every field. So you can say that it's a logical systematic plan to resolve a research problem. So the main objectives of research is, it is nothing but to discover the answers to the questions. So first and foremost is you all need to frame the questions. Based on that questions, you need to discover the answers through some methodologies. So that methodology, what we are going to study is nothing but the research methodology. So the main aim of the research is to find out the truth which is hidden and which has not been discovered as yet. So these two are the main objectives of research. So coming to the actual syllabus of research, so you all know that it is three credits course, and 3 hours per week it is. So in the unit one, it gives a brief introduction about what you mean by research, what are the different types of research, what are the criteria for a good research, and how the research is being done, significance of research, and the main is nothing but the objectives of the research that we are going to study in detail in the unit one. So in the unit 2, as I have told you all, the main purpose to find a research is to find a problem. So if you get a problem statement, then it is easy for you all to do the research. So in the second module, we are going to study how we are going to formulate the research problem, and which are the different research designs we are going to study. What do you mean by research design? All those things we will be studying in detail in the second module. So once the research problem has been done, next comes your framing the objectives. That means what certain objectives need to be there. So to achieve those objectives, you need to formulate with your methodologies. So that we will be studying in detail in the unit 3. So that is how the that is carrying out the research research process, that comes in methods of data collection, how the data need to be collected. So some different questionnaires will be done. So different types of methods by which you can collect the data. So in the next module, we are going to, in the fourth module, it is nothing but related to the surveys. That means the third and fourth module are related to each other. That means in terms of data collection itself, right? So in the fifth module, that is whatever the research has been done, we are going to formulate some formulate some this thing, that is answers to it. So whatever the answers or whatever the models that we will be doing, so those things can be published in some papers, or some you can go for some copyright, you can go for some patents. So those things, how to get published in some different domains, that we are going to study in fifth module. And also in the fifth module, we will be studying how to write a report. The main thing is, whatever the experiments or whatever the objectives, whatever the problem statements, all those things we have done, we need to represent it in a report writing way. So that we are going to study in detail in fifth module. So by choosing this subject, it will be helpful for you all even in your eighth semester also, because in the 8 semesters, you all know that you need to go with the project dissertations, yes or no? So if you opt this subject, it will be easy for you all, like how to go with your research problem, how the methodology is going to be, and how you are going to write your thesis. All those things will be helpful if you choose this research methodology subject. Okay, so these are some textbooks and COs and POs related to this subject. So you can see over there that are 4 COs are there, and 4 POs are there. And coming to CIE and SEE, as it is there for the other subjects, so same it has been followed for this subject also. You will be having 2 IAs, then 2 assignments will be there, then quiz or seminar or course projects will be there, and total CIE marks will be 50. And the minimum eligibility criteria is 20 to qualify it for SEE. Okay. So this is about a brief introduction about research methodology. Thank you.
Good morning to all students. Myself, Professor Ashish Garge. I am giving an introduction about the open elective sensors and signal conditioning, which is offered by Department of E&C Engineering. So just to give a brief overview of why this subject is necessary, if you see the sensor signal conditioning market, the industry was valued at actually just $800 million in 2022. But if you look at the projected growth now, it is estimated to grow at a rate of 6.3% in 10 years till 2031 and reach $1.4 billion. So there is a huge jump or huge boom which is going to happen in this industry in the coming 10 years. So that is why this subject will be helpful to you in that scenario. So the same thing has been projected here in the global sensor signal conditioning IC market. As you can see, the market value is increasing from 800 million to 1.5 billion. And here is the projected growth. The base year is being considered as 2023. And you can see a 6.3% growth is expected here till 2031. So in 8 to 9 years or coming 10 years, there is a huge boom in this market. So here the region-wise breakdown is also shown. As you can see, the region-wise breakdown also, there is a lot of opportunities wherein there is a lot of increase in and boom that can happen in the job market. So here you can see there are, we generally categorize sensors in the form of resistive, capacitive and inductive sensors. Out of that, you can see the market here is for capacitive is high, the inductive also, and as well as resistive. So if you combine and have the knowledge about all these types of sensors, you are going to do great. So you can see the opportunities here. That is why there is surge in adaptation of sensors in the MEMS systems, and that is why there is a lot of technological advancements due to which the market is going to boom to a higher degree. But if you want to talk about the subject as such, so just to provide a brief introduction over the syllabus, the sensors are actually devices that respond to various stimuli. It could be heat, light, pressure, sound, and convert it to an electrical signal. So they basically perform the input operation. And the devices which perform the output function or output operation are called actuators, and they are used to control some external device. It could be movement of arm, or it could be movement of a electronic equipment, or even mechanical stimulus. Both the sensors and actuators, if you combine together, is what you get is a transducer. So transducers basically are devices which convert energy from one kind to the other, and they are basically used everywhere. That is, the transducers are the first elements which are used in any system. So this is just the comparative analysis kept of what is the quantity being measured and what are the input and output devices for that. So you can see you have a light level measurement, temperature, force, pressure, then it could be speed, position, sound. Accordingly, you can see the input devices and output devices are also listed. So you can see of all of these, if you decide to combine them together, you will get a good project out of it. So if, for example, if you see a temperature, you can have a thermostat. You can build a thermostat, and the output will be in the form of fan. It could be a good hobby project, or depending on how much functionality is that, it can be a very good final project also. Similarly, in case of speed, or similarly in the case of force, wherein load cells are being used, or in the light level, wherein solar cells are being used. Solar cells are being used to a greater degree now, and you can conduct good projects using that. So coming to smart sensor. So smart sensor is nowadays, which is a sensor which is being used nowadays. So it's an analog or digital transducer combined with the processing unit and computer interface. It consists of a transconduction element, signal conditioning element, and this supports intelligence in a single package. So this all comes actually just on a single chip, which is called an SoC or system on chip. So whenever you add intelligence to electronics, what you get is a smart sensor. That is, these sensors have some ability to make some decisions. So you can say smart sensor is said to have its own brain. So if you take a conventional sensor and add a integrated circuit to it, what you get is a smart sensor. So the integrated circuit could be Arduino, it could be any microprocessor or any communication system. So what you get is a smart sensor, which is a sensor capable of functioning independently, and you don't have to actually specify anything there. So this subject deals with smart sensor here. This is the general architecture of smart sensor. As you can see, there are a lot of basic architectural components which are present. There is firstly a sensing equipment, amplifier, sample and hold. Then there is a A to D converter. Then there is a D to A converter, memory. Then a processor. So these are the basic architectural components of a smart sensor. Now there are main 5 parts of a sensor node, which is the central unit. So it is composed of microprocessor which manages the task. So this is kind of like a CPU of a computer system. Then there is a battery, which is a source of energy. Then there is a transceiver, which interacts with the environment and collects the processing data. And then you have memory, which is used as a storage device, and communication module, which interacts with other peripherals and queries data and sends it to a central module. So some these are the top listed smart sensors. You can see this temperature, proximity sensor. Then it could be pressure, gas and smoke detectors, accelerometer levels, image sensors, motion detectors, then optical as well as gyroscope sensors. So these are the top sensors in the market, and you'll be studying about them in this subject. So this is the temperature sensor. So it is used to measure the amount of heat that allows in case of a temperature change. So you can see there is thermistors, RTD, infrared sensors. You can combine them together to have a good project. Then you have a proximity sensor where you can use ultrasonic sensor, photoelectric sensor. Then you have pressure sensors wherein you have air pressure sensor, water pressure, and all of these you can combine to get again a good project. Then there are gas and smoke sensors. So you have a alcohol sensor, LPG sensor, or a smoke sensor also. So you can combine these together to have a good project again. You might have seen this all of these three combined together, wherein when we visit malls, especially they are used in that scenario wherein you have smoke detectors present. Then you have accelerometers. So you could have a linear Hall effect accelerometer or piezoelectric accelerometer. Similarly, level sensor, which can be used to sense the liquid level or float type level. Again, these are devices which can be used to sense a liquid level, and this can be used as an input to the larger system. Then motion detection sensors. Again, here you have again the PIR or infrared passive infrared sensor, ultrasonic sensor again. Then you have optical sensors, wherein you have photodetector, pyrometer, as well as IR sensor. I am sure you must have seen these sensors already. Then you have gyroscope sensors, where you have a ring laser gyroscope as well as digital and optical gyroscope. Then you have a water quality sensor. So these are used for checking the water quality and ion monitoring in case of water distribution systems. So this can be used. You can use it in your government systems also to test the quality of water. So in this you have your turbidity as well as pH sensors. So this can become a good project again. So the advantages of the smart sensor are that basically these are used for conditioning and control of a sensor signal, and thus reduce the load on the central control system, which makes the overall system operation faster. The direct digital control provides high accuracy, which is generally not available or achievable with analog control systems and processing. The cost of smart sensors, however, you might feel it is higher than that of conventional systems. But when you go on a long term cost, or think about the long term cost, the cost of ease of programming, ease of adding new sensors, if you take all of this into the picture, the cost of smart sensors is actually very less. And the individual controllers can monitor and control more than one process variable at a time. So this subject is especially would be better for or applicable to mechanical engineering students as well as electrical engineering students, because you already use a lot of sensors. And but however, this subject is helpful for any student who wants to carry out a good final year project. So this subject is essentially in that scenario wherein you can use the sensor for that particular purpose, and you will be knowing about the sensors and their basic signal conditioning part in the subject, so that you know about their working, so that you can easily use them in the final year projects as well as your long term understanding. Thank you.
Good morning, my dear students. My name is Dr. Manjunath Mangode, Associate Professor, Department of PNC. And today I'm going to give our open elective being offered by the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering for 7th semester for digital forensic. And this for subject name is digital forensic. Subject code is 18EC 764. And now this main I'm going to discuss about the digital forensics, about the introduction, prerequisites and skill and competence enhanced after undergoing this subject, and applicable for industry and sector domains. There is an industry offering for job opportunities, and what are the job rules in the market for the student taking up this subject. Mainly thing is digital forensic is defined as the process of preservation, identification, extraction, and documentation of evidences which can be used by the court of law. It is also a science of finding evidences from digital media like computers, mobile phones, server, networks, etc. It also provides the forensic team with the best technique and tools to solve the complicated digital related cases. For example, you can take the, for using the digital forensic, something is happened in the society. For example, there how to find the evidences. For some time we are not believed to the eyewitness. By the time you can find the through the digital forensic, we can find the witness of the what problem is occur in the society. That is also by using the digital forensic, you can solve the issues in the government sector as well as private sector also. The digital forensics is also help the forensics to analyze, inspect, and identify the and preserve the digital evidences residing in the various types of electronic devices. Either you can find in the digital evidences from the mobile, either you can use in the laptop, computers, something is happened or something if your mobile is hacked, by the time also how to find the through the digital forensics for the witness of the dead persons, you can find with the digital forensics. There is a main objective of the while taking this subject, it will help to the recover, and also you can analyze and preserve the computer related to the materials, related to the any personal information, and related to the any banking sectors also. By the time also it can use to the main objective for the analyze as well as you can preserve your personal information in the confidentially. That is also evidence in the court of law. Second objectives, it help to the postulate the motive behind the crime and identify identity of the main culprit. Who is the culprit person? That is also you can find the main objectives. And the third objective is designing procedures at suspected crime scene which help you to ensure that the digital evidence obtained is not corrupted. That is also you can find. The fourth one is data acquisition and duplications, recovering deleted files or deleted partitions from the digital media, extract the evidence and validation them. Something if I am using the laptop or mobiles, that device I given to my friend. If you search and if you collected the any personal information in my devices, after collected the information, if you deleted or if you deleted the history also, that also you can find by using to the digital forensics concepts. Yeah, that is also it help you to identify the evidences. It is quickly and also allow you to estimate the potential impact of the malicious activity on the victim. Now we can see here preserve the evidences by following the chain of custodies. Now we can see here what are the skills it's required to the undergo this subject. Main thing is it is required for the analytical talent is very important, and second thing is we have to understand the law and criminal investigation. Suppose if you want to investigation through any electronic media, there is a laws and there is a understanding of the basic laws. Through that law we can go and find the evidence through any electronics devices. Familiar with the networking concept, it's required for the electronics concepts for the networking, and also it's required the criminal activity involving the digital devices. How the criminal people they are going to involve to the digital evidences, either it may be hacking password, either it may be fraud transaction in the credit card or debit card, either it may be personal account also. There is a required involve there is a PU concept is required for the how to find when it is happened to the crime in any evidences, and the understanding of cyber security is very important. computer science, as well as it's required for the technical skills, nothing but how to operate your electronic devices. That is very important. How to visit the authorized website or authorized transaction in the banking or anything also. It is basic knowledge is required for the technical skills. Sometime illegal website people, they will send the message, and sometime they are going to tempt you immediately. If you click on that website or click on that any links, immediately it will take your personal information, start asking some information in curiosity. If you're entering, go to the next, they will do the fraud transaction also. That is also it is happened. Before going to that, this skill is required to the how to use to the electronics devices, and also you can ability to work with the challenging materials. Now you can see here in the industry sector and domain, it's required for the mobile application. A main thing is crime department. So third one is you can go to the medical department, and also these are the branches of digital forensics. They are going to use cloud forensics, IoT, computer, mobile, network. These are the applicable industry sector domain for the in the market. Now you can see here global digital forensic market in the 2022-2030. You can see the market sizes for 11.2%. Now you can see here the market segments: computer forensic, network forensics, either database, either mobile devices. You can see the regional area in the North America, Latin America, or Europe, East Asia, South Asia, Middle Asia. These are the applicable industry sector and domains. Finally, they are going to use for the end user, government and law enforcements. Either you can go to the police department, either you can go to the any crime department in the government sectors. And this information you can handle by using to the legal service firms, and also they are going to use it in the military and defenses, and also they will get the IT and telecom other things. These are the applicable industry sector and domains. Now you can see here the market industry offer job opportunities. First thing is governments. Either you can go for the police department, crime department, either you can go for the any centralized government jobs. The centralized nowadays in the present technologies, cyber security and digital forensics, very trending technologies to in the government sectors. In the government sectors also, they are preparing who are gone through this courses, are gone through this, studied in the while doing in a graduation. If you know the some idea how to find and how what is the cyber security and digital forensics, you obviously will get the jobs in government sectors. And main thing, especially for the banking and financial services and insurances, especially in the banking domain, there is a huge opportunity for the digital forensics. And telecom, retail, healthcare, other etc. Also in the present 2022 to the 2030, by 2030, it's required for the huge number of opportunity for the cyber security as well digital forensics. This is industries offering job opportunities in present. Now you can see here in the all the domain they're going to cover for the jobs. And the last one is you can see here job roles in the market for the student taking up this subject. First rule, if you're taking the perform the basic forensic investigation and e-discovery. Now you can give to the this request using forensic tools. Either you can use the directly tools. Just you have to identify what are the security systems are available. And main thing is the background, getting the jobs in the market. Bachelor degree in computer science, bachelor degree in any branches, IT, system engineering, continuous if taking any trainings, certification, postgraduate degree, that is also recommended for the getting recruiting jobs. And the skill is required for the in-depth knowledge of the security threats. Effect, it is the different sectors. Knowledge of the fundamental of computer forensics. You can see the salary for the junior, average and seniors also. Now you can see here these are the as per our KLS GIT syllabus, and the digital forensics, that is for three credits, and 50 marks for CIE and SEE 50 marks, 3 hours. Here also there is a main course learning objective is to understand the key aspect of digital forensics if you gone through the subjects. And second thing is you are going to study the nature of typical digital forensic in the case, how to correct the procedure for the searching and seizing evidences and evaluation of the cases. And the third objectives, you can see that to study the email and social media investigation related to the digital forensics, and also take mobile device forensic, and cloud forensics. These are the main digital forensic syllabus. In the first model, we are going to discuss about the understanding the digital forensics and what are the professional investigations are available, and also what tool they are going to use to find the investigation and to search the information. Either you can go to the any tools, you can investigate the either it may be private, either it may be government tech sector through government sectors, either you can use to the high tech investigation also. Well, investigation, you can understand the data recovery, and also you can understand the workstations as well as software is required to conducting the investigation. And the next is, you can see here how we are going to process the crime and incident in the skills to identify the digital evidences, to collecting the particular device, or to collecting any thing happen in the societal, either it may be crime or either it may be killing the persons also. Sometime police department, they are not believe the witness of eyes. By the time you can go to the digital forensic, through that you can find the exact the processing information. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Nihal Santaji. I'll be brief. I will briefly introduce biomedical system design, which is open elective offered by the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering for 7th semester. The subject name is biomedical system design, and the code is 18EC 765, which is offered for 7th semester. IS, CS, and electrical and mechanical department students. So this is outline for this course. So before I start with the introduction of the subject, so this course is basically comes under biomedical engineering. Here, a biomedical engineer plays very important role, crucial role in developing medical equipments, the technologies for the betterment of or for quality for okay. This course, the main goal of this course is to basically the students will acquire good amount of knowledge in a biomedical field. Every student like electrical other engineering students like electrical, computer science, information science, they equally contribute in developing or in manufacturing medical instruments. So all of these engineers contribute equally in a biomedical field. So the main goal is to develop the fundamental knowledge and skills that are required in the biomedical field to improve the quality of life, also to improve the health sector. So coming to the introduction of the subject, the unit 1, this subject is basically, this course is basically quite theoretical, and it includes a few block diagrams and few mathematical equations. So it is basically a theoretical subject with a block diagram approach. Unit 1 is Introduction to System Science. So here the students will be understanding the modeling and simulation of a biological systems. So here students will understand one example of a model, muscle model. So students will be able to draw the electrical equivalent model for the muscle. So that is one example has been discussed, will be discussed here. And apart from that, any biomedical engineer who is developing medical technologies, or who is developing medical equipments or diagnostic therapeutic equipments, they should follow some moral and ethical issues. So these are the issues, like moral and ethical issues, which are discussed in this unit 1. Coming to unit 2, anatomy and physiology. Here students will learn brief about cell, tissues, and organs and organ systems briefly, which they have already studied in PUC in biology subject. So it is in brief it is discussed. After that, they will learn the origin of biopotential, or how electric potential is generated in a neuron cell. So that is discussed in detail here. So once the electric potential is generated in neuron cell, students will learn how to measure that electric potential or a signal which is originated in a neuron cell. So that example has been taken here. So here there are different biopotential measurement techniques like ECG, EEG, EMG will be discussed. ECG is the electrical activity with respect to heart. This is one of the technique used to detect the electrical activity in heart. EEG is electroencephalography. It is with respect to brain. EMG, it is with respect to muscles, that is electromyography. So these are the 3 techniques students will be learning in detail in this unit, which is quite interesting. And even students can actively, they can take some course project on these topics, and even they can have a survey. Unit 3 is a biomedical sensors. So a few of the biomedical sensors will be discussed in this unit, which are used in biomedical field. So electrochemical sensors, chemical fibrosensors. Okay, so these are few sensors, and even there is one sensors based on FET, field effect transistor, or transistorized sensors. So students must have an idea about some basic electronic. So that is one prerequisite for this subject. Unit 4 is biosignal processing. Once the sensor senses the signal, the signal may be impure, or it contains unwanted component. So unwanted components can be filtered out by using filtering techniques. So here we have a biosignal processing techniques in unit 4. The one of the technique which is widely used in biomedical field is signal averaging and lossy and lossless compression, which which will be discussed in unit 4. So this is about unit 4, and unit 5 is biomedical embedded systems. Here once we get a pure signal, this has to be given to the embedded core or any microcontroller or processor. So here we'll be discussing choice of embedded core in unit 5 in brief. So student may be having idea about some embedded systems or microprocessor, microcontroller of other department like electrical. So that knowledge can be utilized here. So in brief it will be discussed. It is an overview of all these components. And then variable biomedical embedded systems. What are the different variable biomedical embedded systems we have, or devices we have? And then last but not the least, computational intelligence techniques used for disease diagnosis. Okay, so this is one of the artificial or computational intelligence technique which will be discussed in unit 5 in brief. So it is about this is about the biomedical system design course. It is, as I said, it is theoretical, quite theoretical. It has with some block diagrams, not much electronics, but some basics of electronics. If students know, they can understand. So other department students like electrical and electronics, information science, computer science, mechanical engineer students can easily understand this subject. These are the prerequisites: engineering, mathematics, basic electronics, signals and embedded systems, which comes under microprocessor and microcontroller. So these are the textbooks available, easily available in Google. So coming to the skills and competencies enhanced after undergoing this subject, so students will be able to create a model for any other system, human physiological system. So in unit 1, muscle model is discussed. So students will be able to create a model for muscle. Similarly, they can create a model for tissue or some other physiological systems. Students will learn different measurement techniques like ECG, EEG, EMG, how real-time ECG is detected, EEG or EMG is measured. So that will be that students will be studying in detail here. So they will understand, they will learn in detail about this. Students will be able to demonstrate electrode potential measurement using EEG lab tool. So in MATLAB there is one tool, EEG lab tool. They can use it for some course activity which they will learn. So students will be able to understand brain computer interface. So applicable industry sectors and domains like sales, servicing, maintenance. So this profile deals with the sales and servicing of devices, equipments and instruments used at the hospitals, by the maintenance engineer or installation engineer, fuel service engineers, even biomedical engineers at hospitals, research and development at healthcare units. So there are some companies where there is a research and development unit where the students can work there also. And then medical device industry, so industry which manufactures medical devices. So this is one of the applicable industry. Coming to the industries offering job opportunities, so these are the industries offering job opportunities in biomedical field. So out of this, cardiac labs which has already visited our college have selected students from computer science, IS and electronics branch. So they basically install the biomedical equipments at different hospitals. So even Samsung has a healthcare sectors. So these are the companies offering the job opportunities. And coming to the job roles, so job roles in the market for students taking up this subject is like any engineer, like for example computer science engineer can get a job role as a software engineer, or he can get a design engineer as well, research scientist also. So these are the different job roles offered by the companies in the market. uh, as I said, electrical engineer, mechanical, computer science, information science, electronic engineer, all engineers play very important role in developing biomedical equipments or this therapeutic or diagnostic equipments. So all of them play very important role. So to make aware about this field for other branch students, this subject or this course has been introduced as an open elective in 7th semester. Even it is introduced as a open elective in 5th semester. Thank you. Sir. Excuse me, sir.
And start. Good afternoon, one and all. This is Dr. Saurabh Mitra from ENC department, KLS This is a presentation for open elective introductory session. and the name of the course is Electric and Hybrid Vehicles. Course code is 18EC766, and this subject or this course is being extended to all UG branches except EC students. You can find my mobile number, you can find my email ID below. So for any queries related to the subject, or even if you take this subject or not, for any queries related to electric and hybrid vehicle for your projects and other work, you can contact me here. Outline of the presentation. So first we are going to see what is the basics of electric and hybrid vehicle. We will talk about prerequisite as such, whatever basic subjects you have studied, like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics, a little bit of database management. All those things are required in a certain portion, not for this course as such, not for the syllabus, but yes, if you want to define your project, everything will be required. So there is an interdisciplinary course, and it requires all the expertise from mechanical, aero, electrical, electronics, CS, IS, everything. So all the students will be finding job in this field if you find. Then we are going to see the skills and competencies that you are going to develop after going through this course. Name of the applicable industries, sectors and domains, which companies in India and abroad they are working with electric and hybrid vehicles. What kind of job you can get in different companies, that also will be discussed. And job roles, very important. You will be finding there is job role from EC engineer, that is instrumentation engineer, up to this thermal coolant, whenever you're talking about cooling of the car, so thermal engineer, so which is actually taken care by mechanical engineering people. Then you will be finding there is a huge amount of data produced in the vehicle, which is coming from all the sensors to the ECU, that is electronic control unit of the vehicle. So how to manage all those data, for that CSIS students are required. So this is a domain where there is need for every engineer, CS, IS, EC, EE, mechanical, aero, everybody. And in fact, some civil engineer people also they can take this course, because if you see the electric and hybrid vehicle MATLAB programming software, there is a road runner software, because how is the road going to be, and what is going to be the profile of the road and all those things. So there is something called as a rolling resistance. Okay, so all those things are actually the domain of civil engineers. So I would say that every engineer will be finding some or other work in this EV or EHV domain. So electric and hybrid vehicle, what is the need? Mainly there is a very clean source of energy, and you will be finding that nowadays there is a full potential for this EHV technology, electric and hybrid vehicles. So whenever I am saying hybrid, means it is either electric and petrol, okay, or fuel cell and electric. So that is actually the hybrid concept. So there is a full potential of penetration of electric and hybrid vehicle automobile in the Indian market, and it is actually a solution for the global warming, and because it is not using any fossil fuel. Fossil fuels are actually depleting very fast. By 2040 there will be no fossil fuel in the world. Fossil fuel means gasoline and petrol. So that's why this IC engine based vehicles are going to be obsolete in near future. So what is the solution? Solution is only electric and hybrid vehicle, or EHV or EV. What is the advantage of this EHV or EV? Fuel is cheap. They are renewable energy sources, because you can charge the EV from, as our college is having electrical department, they have formed grid, and from that grid you can charge your EV scooters, as students do. And main point is, it is not poisonous. It is not doing any kind of emission into the air. That's why it is having very less carbon footprint, that is EVs, and polluting effect is very less. Where is the work lying for EV? So optimization of EHV performance. So now we know that in one charging, EV goes only up to 200-300 kilometers, but Tesla, they are claiming that they can give in one charge, their vehicle can go up to 600 kilometers, right? So but normal EVs which are available in the market, to extend its range, to extend its battery capacity, to provide good embedded system, to do the tracking and performance optimization of all those existing EVs. This is a major research area in a present scenario. So where every engineers are required, starting from electrical, mechanical, electronics, CS, IS and all. And I will show you what are the subjects or what are the courses that you have already studied or they are related to this EV field. I told you it's a multidisciplinary kind of subject course. So basic electrical and electronics engineering and concept of engineering mechanics. I think every engineering student they have studied this. Even if the students from diploma, they have also studied these basic things, the basic of electrical, electronics and mechanical engineering. Now those who are in CSIS or electrical electronics, they will be finding there is a requirement of embedded and control systems there, database management and IoT, because if you see in previous years huge amount of students have been taken into Mercedes-Benz as well as in Daimler truck and all. Okay, so CSIS people, they do the database management, they do the communication protocol is there. So this is all software defined protocol. So all these works are being taken care of by CS and IS people. Core electronics, core EC or electrical students, sensors and signal conditioning is another thing which is very interesting, because there are many sensors, hundreds of sensors. There is a ECU, there is electronic control unit in the vehicle, and together they do the home keeping or station keeping of the vehicle. So electronic components and circuits, communication protocol and all. So these are all courses from different branches which touches this field. What are the extracurricular activities and what are the different softwares? So you can see Simulink, Simscape, MATLAB. Some courses we can do on this. All the free courses are already available with your MATLAB account that GIT has. And then embedded C, C++, Misra C, then AutoSAR. So Misra C, AutoSAR, they are actually the softwares which are totally pointed to this field, that is electric and hybrid vehicles. Then depending on the company, they have developed some new softwares. For Dassault, it's Simulia 3D Experience. Tata Elxsi, they are having their IoT software which is extensively used in electric hybrid vehicle. Hyundai is having Blue Ink. Ashok Leyland, they are having their software which is called as UQM Tech and all those things. So many courses are available in Udemy and NPTEL are there, like CAN protocol, Lean protocol. On each of them there is a course available in Udemy, hardly 300-400 rupees, and you can have the certification and they will be used in your CV. Okay, so they will make you a strong CV. So for this course, basic knowledge of engineering, mechanics, control system, electronics will suffice. For my course, even if you don't have any basic knowledge of all those things, don't mind. All those basic concepts will be discussed in the class. We will go slow and then we will develop the fundamentals very slowly. Learning objectives, that is CLO, understanding the vehicle fundamentals and their environmental impact on ICEV, EV, HEV. So FCEV is fuel cell based electric vehicle. So Daimler Truck, they have recruited very heavily 35 students last year, all across CS, EC, IS, mechanical and all. They are doing research on fuel cell based truck. So fuel cell is something which takes hydrogen as input and gives energy and water as the output and byproduct. So study a propulsion system of electric and hybrid vehicle. This is a little mechanical oriented, but it is not difficult. You know manual transmission, auto transmission. So if you know how to drive a car, then only you can come here for this course, and all the mechanical, all the electrical, electronics parts of that will be discussed in this course. Then there is coming the course outcome. So you will be an expert in electric and hybrid vehicle propulsion system, energy storage, different types of transmission systems. You can choose appropriate propulsion technique. So there is different propulsion technique for hybrid vehicles. So it can be fuel cell, battery, it can be ultra capacitor, and also all those things we are going to study. Select suitable drivetrain and control mechanism for electric and hybrid vehicles. So all these are going to be course learning objective and course outcome. So apart from the basic theory, we are going to see which are the industries related to this automotive sector, and right sides you are finding these are the top EV stocks in electric and hybrid vehicles. You are finding Mahindra and Mahindra, Hindalco. So Mahindra and Mahindra, it is doing mechanical as well as Mahindra is having its own IT wing. They are actually taking care of the IT part or information sensing and processing part of the vehicles. Then there is Hindalco, Hindustan Copper, Graphite India, Tata Chemicals, because whenever it is battery, chemical is playing a very big role. So there Tata Chemical is coming. Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, they are actually into the body making part. Greaves Cotton, they are into seats and other thing. Amara Raja Batteries, so Hero Motor Corp, Exide Industries. So you are finding from chemical to mechanical to IT to electronics, everybody is chipping in and everybody is contributing now in 2023 for vehicle making. So vehicle manufacturing, automotive industry, metal mining, oil and gas, power sector, utilities mainly for grid integration, supply chain. So utilities mainly for grid integration. Here electrical engineers are playing a very big part, because whatever charging station that has to be established, their electrical engineers are having their work cut out. Supply chain, auto parts, battery technology, here chemists and chemical engineers, they can chip in. Database management, obviously there are huge amount of data produced from the sensors. All those data has to be properly channelized and managed. For their IS and CS students are there. Wireless and IoT communication, AI, ML, robotic automation. So these are the fields which are related to this electric and hybrid vehicle. So left side is, you can find out they are the companies in India which are recruiting engineers from different colleges. So Tata Motors, Electra, Mahindra Electric, Ola Electric, Ashok Leyland, Hyundai, Hero Electric, Menza Motors, Lohia, Kia, all those things. And in GIT mainly 4 companies are coming so far. So I'm checking the trend last 4-5 years. Many of EC students are now EC as well as EE, CS, IS, mechanical. They are placed in these companies. So roughly I have given you estimate. Mercedes-Benz last year only they took up 35 students, and total in last 3-4 years I found some more than 65 actually from CS, IS, EC, EE, mechanical. So if you are taking this course, we can make a good CV and we can tell them that yes, we have studied formally the basics of electric and hybrid vehicle, as well as you will come to know the IC engine based vehicle basics also in this course. Bosch last year around they have taken some 30 students, so around 45 students from different branches they have been taken. From EC I know EC those who are working with sensors and all, for ECEE Bosch actually picking them up. Daimler Truck, which is the working mainly on fuel cell based vehicle, they are actually the Bharat Benz or Mercedes Benz truck wing. Daimler and Mercedes, they have actually packed up. Last year they have taken 35 students, almost 15 to 16 of them were from IESCS. Okay, around 5 to 6 were from EC, and EE also 3-4 students were there. Continental last year 3 numbers of students were picked up. There was off campus also in Continental. So these are the main companies which are coming in GIT for students into automotive domain. They are picking up students into automotive domain. Mainly 5 companies in USA: Honda, Ford, Tesla, Toyota, and General Motors. In that, Tesla is actually working in electric and hybrid vehicle. So here are some of the jobs. I'm not going to explain. You can just see here. It is EV engineers. It is function of transmission control. So this is mechanical. Trainer in electrical vehicle. Battery design. Faculty. Okay. So in teaching also there is good scope, because companies are requiring trainers. So electrical engineer people, EC and other people can be the trainer. You can find EPT testing engineer, system application engineers, motors, overall vehicle development package, R&D. Okay, and then you are finding R&D data scientist. This is for CSIS people. Hyderabad, Telangana. Company name is Fisker. A junior application software engineer. Then you are finding e-mobility consultant. This is also Capgemini. It is going into CS and IS domain. Powertrain engineer. So this is totally mechanical. Wiring and harness design. This is going to electrical and electronics people. Engineer embedded software. This is only going for CS, IS, EC people. Customer care manager. This is going in the management domain. Electric vehicle thermal management system engineer. This is going for a mechanical and aero domain. So assistant manager, battery design, this is for chemical people, or mechanical can take up this job, or electrical. Software engineer for electric vehicles. And then all these different kinds of jobs are there you are finding. So AMDM, thermal management, functional safety engineer, Android developer, manager stores, fuel economy, team center developer, likewise. So some more jobs you are finding: team lead, digital manufacturing, plant cost analyst, senior technical lead, calibration engineer. This is electrical and electronics people, EPT testing engineer, e-mobility consultant, all those things. So this was my presentation regarding this electric and hybrid vehicle course. Any doubt, my mobile number was given in the first slide, or I can show it here also. You can check this, and for any kind of doubt you can reach me. Thank you. See you in the class. That's all. Good day. सर हो गया, मुझे ये देखने को मिल सकता है वहाँ पे?
Yeah, good afternoon, one and all. This is Anil Kumar Nakala from Aeronautical Department. So this semester we are floating one more open elective, that is aircraft general maintenance. This is second time we are floating. So in last year also we have floated same course. So last year we got approximately some 60, around 66 students are joined from different departments. The main aim of this course is, every year if you see, there are so many recruitments from Airport Authority of India or DGCA. So there are some recruitments from this especially related to this aircrafts, Director General of Civil Aviation or Airport Authorities of India. These people, they are expecting from different backgrounds like electrical, electronics, or information science, computer science. So like this. For those students to give some basics related to aircraft maintenance, we are floating this course. If you see that previous our Belgaum director, airport director, if you see, he is from civil department background. So we know the opportunities here in this. It may be Airport Authority of India or Director General of Civil Aviation. Every year they are recruiting so many posts related to different backgrounds. Okay, not only for aeronautical, for different engineering like mechanical engineering also. There are so many courses. So the main aim of this course is to train students for these particular jobs. Yes, for that purpose only we are floating this course. And in prerequisite we have mentioned introduction to aerospace engineering is mandatory, but it is not mandatory if you are really interested to work in these two sectors. One is Director General of Civil Aviation and one more is Airport Authorities of India, AAI. Okay, if you are really interested, yes, that is not mandatory. That introduction to aerospace engineering is not mandatory. That is the main aim of this course. Just coming to course content. Here if you have total 5 units, that first unit is related to introduction. Okay, so there is some authority for everything. There should be some authority, right? So like that, already we have discussed. In India, we have Director General of Civil Aviation. This is the authority for aviation sector. So in this introduction, we will discuss about these laws, okay, functions of Director General of Civil Aviation, and one more thing is role of Federal Aviation Administration. This is related to USA, and some basics related to handling qualities, okay, and initial maintenance checkup for the aircraft. So especially in this unit, there are no numericals or nothing, only introduction about especially authorities. What is General Aviation Academy? Sorry, Aviation Director General of Civil Aviation. Under which ministry it will come? So some basics, some theory, only theory part we'll discuss in this. And second unit we'll discuss about something detailed about aircraft maintenance. So first thing is related to authority, and second in unit 2 slowly we'll go to the aircraft maintenance. Then second unit we'll discuss about maintenance team and checks. So if you see that aircraft we can classify into some different categories. Okay, jet aircrafts. So different aircrafts have different maintenance procedures. So here we will discuss about those maintenance or checks. So for example, here if you discuss, there are 4 type of checks: A check, B check, C check, D check. So some more detailed things we will discuss about these different type of maintenance procedures for different aircrafts, and what are the time period for those checks. Okay, here also this is also completely theory. There is no any numericals in this. Coming to unit 3, here some more detailed things about aircraft weight estimation. If you see before takeoff, the pilot will generally he will calculate what is the takeoff weight of the aircraft. I hope you are familiar with this news recently. So some airlines, so before takeoff the pilot suggested that, so kindly at least some 10 passengers, they want to vacate the cabin because the takeoff weight is more. They observe that the takeoff weight is more, and if they want to take off, they need more runway, but there is some runway limitations in there. So that's why they want to decrease the payload weight. Payload is nothing but that passenger's weight. So some interesting topics are there behind this unit 3. So that CG estimation and all those things. Here we can expect some numericals, some interesting numericals, and that too very basic numericals. Your engineering physics, how to calculate center of gravity of the aircraft, and those some basics, weight balancing and all those things, and some instruments, various instruments used in helicopters. Okay, almost the basic 6-pack, generally we used to call as 6-pack instruments. So those are same for aircraft and helicopters. And coming to unit 4, I think this unit is this mechanical and civil students, they like it more compared to other EC and IS students. So this is review of hydraulic and pneumatic systems. So there is no need to discuss that much because you are familiar with this word hydraulic and pneumatic systems. So in the unit 4 we will discuss about what are the application and where we will use these hydraulic systems and pneumatic systems. If suddenly both engine fails, what pilot will do? So some interesting questions: how aircraft will be pressurized, cabin will be pressurized. Okay, what is the water waste management system in aircrafts? Some procedures we will understand in this. So completely it is theory, no doubt about it. And unit 5 is related to auxiliary systems. Okay, these are the 5 units, and the basic fundamentals are just this. We are discussing about basics, and if it is time permits, then we will discuss about some interesting some interview questions also. For example, these interviews generally UPSC will conduct for this. UPSC, DGCA, you know, DGCA, for DGCA exams UPSC will conduct because that is gazetted A cadre. Okay, so tomorrow you can become a gazetted A officer. So for that thing, something related to interview questions, what they can ask from these topics in UPSC interviews, those things also we'll discuss. And that is the plan. And what I'm expecting, some sincere, disciplined students for this course who want to join in this sector like DGCA or Airport Authorities, Airport Authority of India. So yes, yeah, we have given that introduction to aerospace engineering is the prerequisite, but if you want to do job, government job in these two sectors, then definitely you are allowed to take this course. Yes, this is from my side. Thank you.